Hi everyone and welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful Christmas themed traveler's notebook cover, complete with two handmade notebooks inside. It features an elastic closure with a lovely bell just to make it more cute and interactive. On the inside it features two elastic bands so you can thread two notebooks, and we are actually going to make those notebooks together as well. It's perfect for capturing all your December memories and can be used as a December daily journal. And of course you can easily take out the notebooks and work on them, and after just thread them through the elastic. So let's go ahead and make this project together. Now there are many different ways to put together such a project. However, I'm not the one who is going to overcomplicate things, so I'm going to show you how I like to do them. I like to start with background pattern papers, and I have here the Gear Up for Christmas collection. I'm going to create two notebooks so that I don't have one which is too bulky. I find that it's easier to work on it later on. So I'm going to start with 4 background pages for the one notebook, 4 background pages for the other notebook. And by the way, I'm working with an 8x8 pattern paper, and now I'm bringing in my white pages. These can be as thick or as thin as you like, depending on what you want to do on them. You can use just printer paper. If you plan to use watercolors or markers, you need to make sure that these are not going to bleed through the paper that you choose. I'm going to use 4 white ones for each one of the notebooks that I'm going for. And you see I'm placing them in between the pattern paper. So I have one pattern paper, one white page. And that's the same for both my notebooks. You will see that at the end, when those notebooks come together, it is going to give me 32 white pages in total, which means that I have plenty of paper to write down whatever I like of white paper, plus the pattern paper where I can stick photos, decorate, and so on. So the next step is super easy. All you have to do is to just fold those pages in half. I'm using my scoring board and I score at 4 inches. Remember, these are all 8x8 pages. I'm going to do that for all the pages that I have. And you should end up with 2 notebooks that are looking like this. Just fold them in half and reinforce the scoring lines with your bone folders. Make sure that the inside is one white, one pattern paper. Now, of course, the next step is to hold them together. There are plenty of ways to put together pages, signatures as we call them. I'm going to show you the easiest way. I'm just going to use some waxed thread. So I'm using my poke tool and I'm going to make 3 holes on the inside of my notebook. I'm not measuring, I'm just eyeballing. You can definitely measure if you're one of those people. I'm not. Just make sure that while you are poking your holes, you hold all the pages together nicely aligned. If you feel that this is kind of difficult for you, just use some paper clips to keep those pages together. Now I'm going to bring in some waxed thread and I'm going to tie all those pages together. I like to start from the inside, leaving enough tail, then up the middle hole, then thread it through the last one and go back up from the middle. This way you will end up with the 2 tails on the inside, which you can easily tie into a knot or a bow, whatever you like. Just make sure that it is nice and tight to hold all those pages together. And of course I'm going to use my scissors to cut off any excess. And I'm going to repeat the exact same process for the other notebook. Now, depending on how many pages you decide to add, you may have some of the pages going outside of the main cover. In this case, you need to use a ruler and a crafting knife and just lightly go over those pages. 2 or 3 times will do the trick so that you can just cut off any excess. One tip that I can give you for this step is not to apply any pressure on your craft knife. only pressure you need to apply is on the ruler to make sure that it doesn't move. And then just do as many passes as you need with the craft knife. And of course at this stage, if you want your corners rounded, just use your corner chomper or a puncher to do this now. I am going to leave those pages as they are. I like the corners, I'm not going to mess with them at all. And let's move on to the next step. So now I'm going to make the cover. I use stone paper. It is very durable and perfect for album covers. If you can't find stone paper, you can use something similar like faux leather or leather, depending on what you like. You can even get faux leather in a big variety of colors. I am going to use the white one and I'm going to cover it with rice paper. I cut out my stone paper at 9.5 inches. If you don't have stone paper and you're starting from scratch, what you need for your cover is a piece of faux leather, let's say, that is 8.5 by 9.5. Now on stone paper you can do all sorts of techniques that you like. You can work on it as if it is canvas, you can use sprays, acrylic paints, whatever goes. I decided to cover it up with rice paper just because I have the rice paper from the same Gear Up for Christmas collection and it matches perfectly with whatever pages I have inside. Now I am applying my rice paper glue on top of my stone paper. I make sure that I don't end up with wrinkles, so I just like to go step by step, as you can see. And I'm going to use the same rice paper glue to cover the top as well. I'm just going to apply it all over the top. This is going to seal down my rice paper and it's going to make it even more durable. I'm not planning to add any decorations on top since I will be having the elastic, and this is actually a journal not for decoration but for actually using it throughout the month of December. I want to be able to open it and close it, throw it into my bag with no issues for destroying any decorations that I might add on top. But it's up to you, it's your journal. If you try to follow the steps, just do whatever you like on yours. Think of this tutorial as the base. Now you can definitely cover the inside with rice paper if you like. You can even use acrylic paints. I am going to use pattern paper for the inside when I finish putting together everything. Now I'm going to score at 4.25, again 4.25 on the inside, then rotate and score at 4.25 one more time. This is going to give you actually an inch to play with on the spine, and you really don't have to score if you don't want to. Most of the Midoris don't have a scoring line actually, but it makes it easier for me to know exactly where I'm supposed to make my holes. So just make a couple of holes. I just made sure that they are at about 1/4 inch over the bottom. And I make a mark at 1/4 and 3/4. In between those scoring lines, you will end up having an inch in between those scoring lines. Now also make a mark at the center, and this is where we are going to thread through the elastic that is going to hold everything together. And now I'm going to use my Cropadile and make the holes. And of course my Cropadile cannot do the hole at the center. If you have one tool that is wide enough, like the big Cropadile, or if you have a standalone hole punch, then it's even better. I'm just going to use what I have. So with my poke tool, I'm just going to make sure that I enlarge that hole enough for my elastic to go through. Now for elastic, I had a pink one. Probably it doesn't match a lot with the colors that I have, but that's what I had, so that's what I'm using. But in any case, I think it isn't bad, the pink one, and it is super cute after all. Now thread the elastic through the first hole and then through the one just next to it towards the inside. Then you need to take that end all the way to the hole up at the top and do the same thing. Go through the hole and then up through the next hole, just next to it. This way on the outside, it ends up being nice and neat with only a little bit of elastic on the two ends. And then on the inside just tie a double knot with the two ends of your elastic. Make sure that you don't stretch the elastic at all. Remember, you need to thread through your notebooks, so you need a little bit of a give. And of course, before you cut off with your scissors the ends of the elastic, maybe you need to readjust the tension. Mine are okay, so I am committing with that and I just use my scissors. I'm going to thread through the other notebook and I'm pretty much done. Let's do the finishing touches. And you can see how lovely they fit inside. Now if you don't want to have those creases on the side and you want a more soft binding on the outside, just press them like so. They're not going to show at all. It acts like a leather, so you will see that it's really forgiving. I'm also using my corner chomper to round the corners, only the outside corners, but you can definitely go ahead and do the inside on your notebooks if you want. And now let's do the elastic that is going to hold everything together. What you need is to wrap it once around so that you measure about how long your elastic needs to be. Leave a little bit of a tail, like a couple of inches extra. And then you need to tie a knot like so. This knot is going to be larger than the hole that we have done in the middle. So I'm just going to thread this through. And my advice here is not to chop off the tails. You see here, this is very loose, but I will need that when I start filling up my journal. However, for now, I can readjust the tension to make sure that it is nice and tight for now. And I'm not going to chop off the tails of this elastic. This way, no matter how bulky it gets, I will be able to readjust this elastic. Now, of course, on the inside, you can use anything you like to decorate your pages. You can use cutout images from the pattern papers. You can create pockets. You can create... I'm just showing you the base here, the starting point, and you can really take it to the next level. So here I have pattern papers from the collection. I just picked one of them. This is 8 by 8 again. All I did was to cut it in half and use my corner rounder on the edge. This is going to fit perfectly at the front and the back to cover the white space there. You can definitely create pockets here. I mean, the sky's the limit on what you can do inside albums. And remember, I'm trying to stick paper on top of stone paper, so you need a strong glue here. I just use my craft glue there. I'll do that for the back. And I'm going to call this one done for now. I'm not going to add any more elements inside the pages. But I want to show you one extra thing that you can do. If you want, you can embellish the outside a little bit more by adding charms. There are areas where you can add a charm like the elastic or the elastic up at the top here. I'm just going to use a little bell and I'm going to thread it through that elastic with a jump ring. Just really quickly and easily. This is going to add a little bit of a charm because every time I'm touching this journal, it's going to jingle, which makes it super fun. So this is the project for today. I hope that you had fun, that you got inspired to use those Christmas pattern papers that you have been hoarding. It's a great gift to give to someone or a gift for yourself. Make sure to do it now, this month through November, so that you have it ready for the 1st of December. Links to everything I used can be found down below, just like always. Thank you all so much for joining me today, and I'll see you all next time.